Happy Halloween, everyone. It's Raz. And I just wanted to take a minute to send you a message and wish you a happy Halloween from the Bardic College, but also to let you know a little bit more about Kleiner's Cravenarium, and specifically, who is Ludolf Kleiner. Well, Ludolf Kleiner was born in 1751. His parents, Gemma and Heinrich Kleiner, were part of a merchant class who invested in shipping and had been fortunate to see nearly all of their early ventures pay off handsomely. According to Ludolf's later accounts, his parents were stern but not strict, believing that children should be seen occasionally and heard almost never. This created a rebellious streak in young Ludolf and got him into fairly serious trouble several times while in the early days of his primary school. It was also where he met his first true friend, a boy by the name of Ulrich Tuttensfeld. Ulrich was a year younger than Ludolf and a bit more reserved, but together they made the perfect pair. And they explored the woods around the school, the crypt of the old headmasters, and even the winter witch's house that sat some 8 leagues from the school grounds. As they entered into secondary school, the pair became more enamored with the bizarre and the macabre. They began to read about natural philosophy, the occult, and Enochian script writings of John Dee. Ludolf and Ulrich decided that they wanted to see more of the world as they grew up and study in even some of its most remote places. Their goal was to learn one day all they could about the esoteric world that they believed was not only real, but very, very much within reach. So upon graduating, they did a short stint in Berlin working at that university selling corpse accepti. It was a promissory note that they offered to the sick and impoverished, where upon signing, the person would be paid a sum of money, and then when they died, the university would be able to take possession of the body from the bereaved family. As you can imagine, this was a long-term investment that the school finally scrapped when people that had already been paid refused to hand over their loved ones' bodies for medical experiments. This did not deter them, though, and the pair began collecting pieces of oddities that came from across their travels throughout Europe and Africa. Then tragedy struck when Ulrich came down with scarlet fever and died suddenly. Ludolf was heartbroken. He had lost his friend, confidant, and the only person who ever found that shared his passion for the weird and the surreal. And then one day, he decided to take his and Ulrich's cabinet of curiosities, which his friend had bequeathed him, on the road to see if there were anyone else out there that was interested in the bizarre and grotesque. Much to Ludolf's surprise, his collection was met with an overwhelming popularity. By 1786, Kleiner's Cirque of Curiosities was making the now 36-year-old entrepreneur a lot of money and fame. And he was even presented before some of the crowned heads of Europe. And within a decade, he would meet a fledgling general who would soon be called emperor. Over the many years, Kleiner's cirques survived the cholera epidemic, the Napoleonic Wars, the reconstruction of the German states, colonialism, and the birth of the Industrial Revolution. But through all, Ludolf found a way not only to prosper, but to give a safe harbor to those unique individuals who needed a place to call home away from the judgmental eye of the public. Ludolf Kleiner eventually died in 1825 at the ripe old age of 74. And since then, the show has been run by his horse Max and Jacob Mosley, the youngest son of Kleiner's last business partner. So that's a background a little bit about Ludolf Kleiner, the leader of Kleiner's Cravenarium. You can learn more about the acts, the mysteries, and the things that goes on at Kleiner's Cravenarium by joining our Patreon to watch the shows early, or subscribing to our YouTube channel, where after they are on Patreon for about 2 weeks for those people, you'll be able to watch them as well. Thanks for taking the time with us. I hope you have a great and safe holiday. And remember, we are here to serve you.